Hello and welcome to the Game and Sound Podcast. My name is Pedro, and today I'm here with Tito once again. So Tito, how you doing today?
I'm doing quite well.
All right. Okay, so before we start with our weekly topics, we would like to start with the Game On section. And this week's question is, what is your favorite game of all time?
Well, mine would have to be back in 1995. I was 10 years old.
Back in the old days. That was
Stuck.
like 20 days, 20 years now, right?
Stop it. I was stuck with my NES, and I was tired of that piece of crap. And I finally got a Super Nintendo, and it was the Super Nintendo that came with Donkey Kong Country.
Oh.
And that game and Donkey Kong Country 2 would go on to become some of my favorite games, but Donkey Kong Country has a special place in my heart because it was kind of a reintroduction to gaming for me after I was a kid. We were poor. I did have games for a while, and I played that game for probably just a year and a half, just mastering it, perfecting it, and trying to just find every secret. And this was before YouTube, so I couldn't go see a nice little playthrough of where everything was. So on my own, I still could only maybe manage 92%. I never quite got 100, and I didn't know there was a 102% till later. So
Wow. Well, in terms of games, just because you have a favorite game, it's like the top best, but because it also connects with kind of your emotion towards that game, a place where you were at that time, and that kind of relates to my answer. Even though I love the Legend of Zelda series, that is my favorite game series of all time. For me, my favorite game is actually Kingdom Hearts 2. And the reason why it is kind of similar to your answer. It came out in 2006, and I remember that I was around the same stage I was going to, middle school. And I used to be bullied a lot. And I stopped doing a lot of things that I liked because I just wanted to be accepted to be part of the cool crowd. And Kingdom Hearts came out, and that was just a game that I played. Even if my friends made fun of me, I still play because it kind of combined two of the things that I love, which was Disney and the Final Fantasy aspect of it. And just I enjoyed playing that game. It was visually the best looking game on the PS2. It should have come out for the PS3. And I did almost every single objective and quest that could be done in that game, and it always has a special place in my heart, and mostly because of just where I was, because I was about to quit gaming for just to be cool, but obviously that was a stupid reason. And as you can see today, I am not that stupid. I'm making a stupid podcast with my friend here, so gaming is a big part of my life, and I kind of have to thank Kingdom Hearts 2 for kind of motivating me back into that place of where I was.
are you gonna get the remasters?
I already have the first one. I didn't get the second one because I thought the pre-order bonus was dumb. It was basically it was 2 years ago, roughly. They released the first 1.5 remix, and it had an actual art book when you pre-order. So I was like, oh, that's awesome, and the art book is great. It has a bunch of the original concepts of the game, and then the next one, the 2.5 remix, basically was a Disney pen.
I don't think I've ever pre-ordered a game.
The only reason to pre-order games is just to get the bonus, and with 2.5, even though it has my favorite game on it, I have on PS2 already, so I don't really miss it that much. I would just buy just to put it on my shelf and keep it looking nice, just in case I want to revisit that game in HD graphics. And I have other games that I really want to get, so I don't have the money or time to play.
Like what?
Well, I want to get the Order 1886 when that comes out, and Kirby the Rainbow Curse. Rainbow Curse? No, the Rainbow. I think it's called the Rainbow Curse.
Yeah,
yes.
that Order game kind of looked like crap.
Okay, no, that's not shit on games that haven't come out yet. Anyway, the next topic for today. The next topic for today is Spider-Man going back to Marvel. I think it was confirmed today, right, Tito?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, this morning when I checked my phone and I see that the Spider-Man has been technically brought back to Marvel. Marvel and Sony have an agreement in order to co-work together in the new Spider-Man films and
Now
have
let's bring the X-Men home, guys. Come on.
have the Spider-Man going to work with the characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also be still with Sony. So kind of like an agreement for both parties. Um, and I think it's like finally time because after Amazing Spider-Man 2, we kind of didn't know what was going to happen next because it had a lot of mixed reaction. What do you think, Tito?
Well, essentially, Sony gets what they want, and Marvel gets what they want. Marvel gets creative control, while if it happens to make money, Sony still has their hands in the pot. So, and this is what people wanted anyway. Marvel has the magic touch as far as movies go right now. It seems like they can't do anything wrong. You know, it's easy to talk about what a success Guardians of the Galaxy was now, but when that movie first came out, I was like, really? What the heck is Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't I didn't think it was going to do as well as it did. So now you're kind of to the point where, all right, Marvel put its stamp of approval on it. It must be good.
Oh, it was like Guardians of the Galaxy was a phenomenon for what it was. You know, it was an unknown property. Nobody knew what it was. Not even the comic book readers know what it was. Not very few people knew what it was, and to see it just being a great hit, like it was amazing to the part and kind of proved how Marvel has just built this persona and this kind of this image that they make quality films. Like I know many people that just go to the movies just to see Marvel films because they have that kind of fan reaction towards their films.
And to be fair, it's not like I like every Marvel movie. I mean, I thought the two Thor films were pretty whack. I thought Iron Man 3 was whack. And I thought the first Captain America was pretty whack. But other than that, I thought they were all pretty cool.
I agree with you, except for two movies. I like the Captain America one because I like how they portray the World War II aspect of it, but I can see why people have problems with it. And Ragnarok, I was surprised they didn't. Oh, not Ragnarok. It was The Dark World. I was surprised they didn't like it.
See,
enjoyed
I like the character of Loki.
Oh,
I think Loki.
Loki's a badass.
I think Loki saves those movies. I just think Thor is just boring.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Loki is probably the best villain Marvel has right now. Because even though Marvel makes the best movies, they don't technically have the best villains. And Loki's probably the best one they have. Because he's an interesting character that can be good and can be bad at the same time, which is what we like in characters.
Yeah, Thor is just, like I said, he's kind of like Superman. He's just a big blockhead.
Basically,
there's not much to him.
yeah, like, and what do you expect with this deal with Marvel and Sony? Do you expect to see? Because they didn't confirm this, but they mentioned that they will have Spider-Man introduced in the movie and then have his own movie in 2017. So, what do you think
Well,
will happen?
if you read the comics, then you know that Spider-Man is a very pivotal part of the Marvel Civil War. So I don't see. I'm pretty sure that this was a big reason they wanted to get this deal done, so they could actually put Spider-Man in there.
Well, Civil War starts production really soon, so you think they will rearrange the script that they have planned?
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Or do you think they already knew they were gonna have Spider-Man?
Oh, I don't know, but either way, I'm pretty sure they'd make an exception for the Spider-Man dollars.
Yeah, because back when they announced their Phase 3 slate, they have the Black Panther confirmed to be Chad Boseman, great actor, and they had him like in between Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. So it was kind of like assumed that he was going to be the Spider-Man role. So do you think they will scratch that idea? Well, it hasn't been confirmed if he was actually going to be in the movie or not. So do you think that might change, or they'll keep him there?
I don't know, but if I were them and I have Spider-Man now, I would.
Yeah, because like Spider-Man is probably the best known Marvel superhero they have. Like not in movies per se, but like in like animation and comics. Because I think like the Amazing Spider-Man comic it's probably one of the best selling comics they have right now, or for longest run they had.
Spider-Man is to Marvel as Batman is to DC. He's just popular with the kiddies.
Yeah, because like he's relatable and like even though I think Spider-Man, the character is Peter Parker, is starting to get outdated in some ways. He's like the nerdy kid. I feel kind of a little bit
Well,
outdated.
the thing is, you have so many Spider-Mans to draw from now.
Yeah,
There's
like there's
so many continuities, and I don't think anybody wants to see another
Peter Parker.
remake with Peter Parker, and with great power comes great responsibility. I think we've heard
That was like
one.
the worst thing in the
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man. They tried to say that line, but they just
Yeah.
didn't. I was like, okay, if you're gonna say it, then just say it. Don't have Michael Sheen just say something completely irrelevant.
And the worst part about the Amazing Spider-Man movies was they were like Dark Knight Light featuring Spider-Man.
Yeah, like with the I enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man films. I understand they both have problems with them. It's just like I feel that with Sony they just didn't know what direction they want to go.
And then, you have Jamie Foxx, and he's playing like a total loser. It's like Jamie Foxx we're talking about here. And
Jamie Foxx, the coolest
he was
guy out there.
horrible.
Yeah, like that Electro personification was terrible.
I thought the casting was really good for with Emma Stone in there. I thought that was I thought that was great casting, and that was probably really the only good casting. I mean,
no, I gotta tell you this, you're gonna laugh. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best rom-com of 2014.
yeah, probably. I mean, and it's like I always say, like he was a horrible Peter Parker, but he was a great Spider-Man.
And then Tobey
And
Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, great Peter Parker, horrible Spider-Man. He looked like a fat guy in the suit.
Well, now that Marvel has basically control of this character, do you think that they will continue make another Peter Parker? Do you think they will keep Andrew Garfield, or do you think they're going to go with someone else
No,
Miles Morales?
I don't know if you saw, but the condition was that they get to recast him. So Andrew Garfield is out. He's done.
That's sad. But do you think they'll go again with Peter Parker, or do you think they'll go with Miles Morales?
I don't know. I hope they go with another one. And at the very least, before they even think about making a movie, just have him, make a couple cameos here and there.
Yeah. But I think that's the idea. That's kind of how they implement characters in their cinematic universe. They kind of hint them, or they say their name or something. Like in Captain America 2, they hinted at Doctor Strange. They said like one of the target that the ship had was like, oh, Doctor Stephen Strange.
Hey, matter of fact, forget Spider-Man, Black Cat movie. Let's do this.
The Black Cat.
Black Cat
movie. I love Black Cat.
Get me some nice thick looking white girl in there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Tito, we did not objectify women, okay? This is a nice family-friendly podcast.
Not in public anyway.
Not in public? Oh my god. Okay, so anyway, speaking of Naughty Dog, Naughty Dog made a statement at GameSpot saying that they will no longer be making any cartoony games. And a lot of people are in contact with this because they're known. Well, now they're known for their Uncharted and Last of Us series. But they started back with Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter. Jak and Daxter being one of my favorite game series of all time. So, Tio, how do you feel about Naughty Dog just kind of banning their old habits and games?
All right. Well, that was a Greg Miller level segue, by the way.
Thank
Nice.
you. He's my idol.
Nice. Well, I feel like sadly this is where video games are going. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and video games were about more than shooting things and really snobby, pretentious stories. It's a video game. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care about the story most of the time. I really don't. Oh, The Last of Us, what a great story. Played the game, was bored. I was completely bored.
Wow.
Oh my god, this is the greatest game of this generation. I don't.
I wouldn't say it's a great game of the generation.
don't.
I think it's a prime example of great storytelling gaming.
I don't see it. That's why, honestly, I've kind of been. I'm an indie game guy now. Like AAA games. Literally every year, I'm like, oh, look, 12 shooters, yay.
But I think the shooter genre is kind of falling now. Like, I think Call of Duty has plateaued already. I think, even though they're still selling millions and millions of games, I think they already reached their high peak. I think from here on it's gonna go down. because it's basically the past what 6 to 9 years has been just shooters being like the top. I think from now on it's gonna be other games that will take the top spot in terms of sales.
Well, I don't know. You either have that or you can play the 25th Assassin's Creed game.
Uh,
Nothing but variety with AAA.
no, nothing. My take with Naughty Dog thing, I think it's I understand where they're coming from. I understand that they're a different studio from what they were 20 years ago. They're not the same. They don't have the same mentality they have, and I think it's good for them that they're making like these adult themed games. I think Uncharted series. I love the Uncharted series. I love The Last of Us, and I feel like they should keep on that trend because it will be weird from going to a really dark game from The Last of Us and going back to Crash Bandicoot or Jack and Daxter. I feel they should just hand it to one of the other Sony studios.
I feel like they should just change their name to Starring Troy Baker Studios.
Oh yeah, Troy Baker's and everything. I bet you if you can say it like in like a game or a anime, I'm pretty sure you can find Troy Baker somewhere in there because he does a lot of work, and he's gonna be at MegaCon this year. So hopefully I get to see him meet him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It makes me sad because I missed. I was so excited when Rayman Legends came out. I was like, Jesus, why can't people put out games like this anymore, man? Like a AAA platformer. Come on, guys.
Oh, like maybe like a resurgence in the 3D platforming genre could be something that may invigorate the.
I mean, all we have now is Mario, and who knows when the next one of that'll come out? Mario Galaxy 3?
Maybe. Illuminati confirmed.
Right.
But the Naughty Dog thing, going back to that, do you think that they should make more Crash Bandicoots and Jack and Daxter games?
My heart says yes, but really, those games aren't really worth the AAA budgets anymore.
No,
because they don't sell. Now everybody's what I like to call the bro gamer.
Bro,
I only play Call of Duty, I only play 2K, I only play Madden. I literally have a console just so I can buy the same $60 game every year.
Yeah, it's kind of turned to that, but like that's what keeps the studios on. That's what keeps the lights going on. It's just the pro gamers. They're the ones that buy the big games and the big consoles, and they leave space for the indie games for us people that like to play this game. Because right now, well, I'll talk about this later, but I'm playing Transistor and Apotheon from the PS Plus indie section, and I be enjoying it so far. And Jack and Daxter, I think it will fit nicely right now because the type of humor they had. It was really nice, and I feel it will really communicate with the people in today's audience. But any final thoughts on this?
Well, I just think that right now, I'm just really disappointed in the fact that every video game now has to be like dark and has to have some depressing message or, I mean, I know gamers are growing, but.
Yeah, like that's kind of the reason why I kind of like Nintendo games. They kind of keep that like childish, well, not really childish, but like more animated perspective in gaming. Yeah. Speaking of Nintendo, Legend of Zelda series on Netflix. Is this a good idea or a bad idea? So Wall Street Journal reported last Friday, I believe, that their Netflix is working on a Legend of Zelda live action series, and of course, people got excited. People started saying, "Why it's a good idea? Why it's a bad idea?" But we're not those people. We have our own opinions. So, Tito, what's your take on this?
$1 million question: is Link going to talk?
Probably. Like, this is my thing with this. Like I mentioned before, Legend of Zelda is my favorite game series of all time. So when I heard this report, as I say, it's a report. It's not confirmed yet by Nintendo or Netflix, so we're still talking on speculation. I feel that even though I loved Legend of Zelda, it has a terrible story. Like, it's just a very generic story. Like, it's just the young hero who's chosen to save the princess from the evil Ganondorf. That's a very generic story. And even Majora's Mask, which tends to be looked as the most unique and most dark Zelda game, the story's not really that impressive in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but you weren't interested in the story. It's like I said, you were more interested in getting immersed in the world.
In the world, in the gameplay, in the
Now,
puzzles.
how will that translate into a show? Who knows? But the the setting may be a good enough draw to get people to watch it. And then from what I've heard, they said that what they're going for is Game of Thrones, but family friendly.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was like,
So-
really? Like,
So
I feel those two things are opposite from each other. Yeah, they tend to be medieval and things like that, but like they are for the complete different audience. They don't really have anything in common. And just like I hope it's good if it's made. I hope it's really well. I hope they kind of handle well Link speaking. But like I don't really see where can they draw from, especially Nintendo. Nintendo's like
Well,
they're really strict with their properties. So
here's the
I'm
thing.
surprised like they
here's
gave
the
it.
thing. Netflix may make a show that you don't like, but they haven't made a show in my eyes that you can just say is outright bad.
No, they have amazing
So
original
they've
content.
gotten a pedigree now, and they're coming out with the Marvel shows now. So
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of people are trusting them.
Yeah,
with
Daredevil.
So and really, I'd rather have it on Netflix than on extremely commercialized like cable.
Oh yeah, like I think Netflix is the way to go. They've been having a lot of original content that they spend a lot of money into House of Cards, into Orange and New Black, Marco Polo. They have spent much money into this, and like all their shows have been good quality. House of Cards, Orange and New Black are the prime example because they're the ones that have been gaining more attention. But I heard good things about Marco Polo, and there's another series they have. Like I can't remember. It's like one of the first ones they did.
I know the shows they have are like Peaky Blinders.
Oh, Peaky Blinders is good.
Uh,
Well, it's like
they
one of,
they made an original anime on Netflix.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So
I'll check it out.
they're going in.
So yeah, like Netflix and Hulu are the way of the future. I feel like TV, having like paying for cable is pointless at this point.
I haven't had cable since 2008.
I haven't had cable since 2009, 2010, around that time too. Because with why spend over hundreds of dollars on a cable box that you're not gonna watch those 500 channels when you can just
Yeah.
pay like $20 or $30 for
The only
Netflix
thing-
and Hulu Plus.
The only thing I miss about having cable is sports and
Oh, yeah.
ESPN. If you're listening, if you had an app, you'd have my dollars. Just saying.
Yeah, and like I think maybe like 2 or 3 years we're gonna see a movement like that. I know HBO Go. The HBO is on.
You mean Game of Thrones go?
Yeah, they were talking about having a streaming services for people that don't have HBO on the cable boxes, and I think that's a great idea because Game of Thrones is the most popular show on the internet. People love that show, but a lot of people can't watch it because they're restricted to having to pay for a cable subscription. But if they were to go streaming, that would be the perfect way to have people like join in.
Yeah.
And
And even satellite dish companies now are like, hey, for $20 a month now, you can have ESPN, the Disney Channel. That's because they're responding to people are starting to realize that they don't need cable anymore. They don't, they can kind of cut out the middleman.
yeah, like there's really no point to have cable anymore. I think the only reason I like cable is because like the live events that they may happen or the sports.
When was the last time you watched a television show when it actually came on?
I actually do remember. It was the premiere of Agents of Shield. That was the last time I did it. That was like 2013, I think. That was the last time I did it because I was like, oh, cool, a new show. But then I remember, oh wait, I can watch this on Hulu. Why am I doing this? And then I stopped. So yeah, like this. I think. Do you think that this new wave of streaming has kind of killed family time with the TV?
Well, I think technology in general has killed family time. I think more often than not now, even when we're with friends, we have our phones in our face.
Yeah.
I don't think TV had anything to do with it. I think all of us have to kind of take an active role and just say, hey, you know what? Let's turn the TV off. Let's sit at the table and let's talk. Because even just in general, people are becoming more and more antisocial. Even with video games. Remember, video games used to make it a point to have, and I think Nintendo's the only one still doing this, of couch co-op.
Yeah.
Now video games are made and optimized for online. Like, look at a game like Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 is so slow. You know why it's slow? Because it's designed for online. If a game is already slow and you're playing it online, you're really not going to be able to tell.
No.
So, because if you remember the early Street Fighter games, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Turbo, obviously, they were much faster. But if you make a game that's already slow, when you play it online, yeah, you might be able to notice it sometimes, but you won't notice it as much.
No, like there are games that are made to be online, but like Smash Brothers, I can't play Smash online. Like the lag they have, it just confuses me, and like I can't perfectly fight. Yeah, so with the future, it can be positive, in the way that we can relay and find more information, but at the same time, it kind of kills the actual human aspect.
But here's what's wrong with America. Video game companies, they want everything online. America has
Terrible.
the 25th ranked internet speed in the world. Okay?
That's sad.
Like, if you want everybody to be online all the time, then, let's improve this internet infrastructure. Like, we can design the great netcode for a game all we want, but if America's internet still sucks, it still sucks. It's the same thing with online or OnLive. How is OnLive going to exist? Matter of fact, how is PlayStation Now going to thrive when America's internet connections as a whole just aren't that good?
No, compared to Europe, yeah, we are. Like it's funny. The internet was created here in North America, but we have the 25th fastest internet in the world. That is really sad, but it's just also an issue that has to do with business models. With like, I know it's a recent law that like they had to increase the number of broadband megabytes they had. That is sad. After 17 years?
Yep.
That's insane. But that's another issue for another day.
Google Fiber, save us!
Google Fiber, please save us. Okay. Well, we're at the end of the show. So every time we end, we like to talk about what recent gaming we've been doing. So Tito, what have you been playing recently?
Actually, I've been playing a lot of emulators. So
Nice.
yeah, and then because actually I had been trying to fast from gaming as well, because I feel like it takes up way too much of my time when I could be doing constructive things.
Yeah.
Like working out or cleaning up around the house. But really, there's been a lot of Mickey Mouse, Land of Illusion, Streets of Rage 2, which honestly, wow. I make it a point to play that game and beat it in like at least once a month. It's like therapy.
That's like one of the best games on the Sega Genesis.
Yes, it is.
Alright. In terms of me, I've been playing both Transistor and Apotheon. These are two PS Plus games for the month for February for PS4. And I've been loving both of them. Especially Transistor. Transistor, wow. What an amazing soundtrack that game has. I can just put the controller down and just listen to the soundtrack because it's really fantastic. And with Apotheon, even though the controls are a little bit flunky, I still like the historical aspect of it, because I'm currently taking a course in Greek humanities, and it's just interesting to see how they portray that in that Greek mythology into that, about this man who's basically fighting gods, and I think that's really interesting. Okay, well, this is the end of the show. Well, thank you very much for listening. Tito, where can people find you?
Tito Q 85 on Twitter.
Tito Q 85. Okay. Well, you can find the Game and Sound channel in Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, and iTunes, and YouTube at the Game and Sound. So thank you guys for listening, and hope to see you next time.
Give us money.
Bye.